Welcome. My name is Ellie Kerr, founding director of Merseyside Women of the Year, and this is our Crispy Ear podcast. And joining me today is Jo Henney, Chief Executive of Nugent. Jo, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. You were our community leader winner in 2024, and obviously we're in 25 now. How's it been?
Thanks, and thank you for the invite today. It's been amazing, really. It was my first year as Chief Exec of Nugent, obviously a charity in Liverpool, which are 144 years old. So for my first year to be nominated and to win the Community Leader Award was just such recognition of how Liverpool really had recognised me as their Chief Exec for such a valuable charity in our region.
And it is... the breadth of services that you offer is phenomenal. Now, I thought it was 15, but you've added, is it 18
Yeah,
now?
so it's 18 services ranging from residential, children's and adult support services, day services, food pantry, adoption services, educational facilities. So a real broad range supporting the most vulnerable people in our Liverpool City region.
That's unbelievable. How many people does it
We
service?
look after over around 6,000 people a year in terms of different touch points and contacts, because a lot of people we like to support in their own homes, because homes first is obviously the best approach, but we are helping people on a day-to-day basis in a number of areas.
And how many of your team do you have?
We have 430 staff.
My goodness.
And an army of volunteers that help us, both corporate businesses and partnerships, and also individuals that help us with all various different types of activities.
Well, I know you've done bonkers stuff like the Sahara.
Oh.
Yeah, well,
Talk about bonkers.
well, you did that one, didn't you?
I did, and I think because it was my first year of CEO, I thought I should.
I bet you'd rethink that now.
Yeah, everyone wants me to say I had a wonderful time. I didn't. It was horrendous. We did raise a significant amount of money, though. We raised £55,000 as a group. And lots of people who came really enjoyed it. But I'd be lying if I said I did.
See, it wouldn't be for me either.
No.
Sand gets everywhere.
So I've decided now, we've
just
just done the Arctic Challenge, and I've decided I'll wave them goodbye and I'll welcome them home.
That's the best thing to do. So when does that happen?
They've just done that.
Have they
So
just
they've
done
just
it?
been
I've
that.
missed
They
that.
went to the Arctic and did an Arctic Challenge. So they're trying to get me on whatever they come up with next, but I'll try, and I'm sure you and Ellie will have something to do on that week.
Yes,
They can't
definitely.
make
I'll
it.
have a bone in my leg or something like, I'll have broken a nail or something like that.
Yeah, I'll definitely be there to help you.
You've done the kip out.
Yeah, we did the sleep
The
out
sleep
for the
outs.
homeless provision and funds. I've done the abseiling down the cathedral. So I just think I'm better off as a supporter now.
Yeah, on the sidelines.
Yeah.
But when you do stuff like that, it raises the awareness, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And I think the support we get across the region for our challenges and to raise awareness is just, I'm just so grateful of this community, because obviously you can tell from my accent, I'm not from Liverpool, but they really have opened their arms to support me and the work Nugent do.
I have to say, I don't think, definitely since you took over as CEO, I've seen a massive improvement in visibility for Nugent, because I think it was very, very quiet.
Yeah, I think we were one of Liverpool City Region's unsung heroes as a charity. We just got on with what we needed to do, and it's tough. It's a tough health and social care is a tough industry, and I think we just got on with what we needed to do, not recognising actually with good relationships, networks, and partnerships outside is how much better we could actually make a difference to people's lives.
Well, that feeds into one of the themes that have been through the podcasts, through the Crispy Ears, has been, because I say it's about having four things: a network, information, money and self-belief. So those networks, you found invaluable. So is there anything else in those 4 pillars that you think?
I think networking, I just always think that you should never underestimate the power of it. And I certainly probably did till I've realised the power of it. And as I say, it's just taken the lid off Nugent as a charity, and the opportunities it's given me to grow in some of my other voluntary work that I do outside of Nugent. I suppose my information, I come from various industries, but my first sort of proper job, I suppose, I worked for Philips, and I think data and information is something that has gone through my life as a constant in terms of using information. That's not just data, but listening, hearing, smelling, tasting, and it helps you make really good decisions for growth. So yeah, definitely information. I think in terms of the other ones, so networking, we've talked about self-belief. People will know I left school at 15. I have 2 GCSEs, and one of them's in outdoor pursuits, which clearly, for those of you, I don't know if you can see all of my body, but yeah, it's not something I do regular.
Yeah,
and I haven't been back to further education since. I've worked hard and had an attitude to actually just make a difference. And I think that self-belief, and not just self-belief, others' encouragement and support, coaching, mentoring, people that have stood beside you, have given you advice and guidance. We can name those people in our life that have done that for us. And I've been very, very lucky to have some really good people around me that have supported my journey.
But people say, Timothy, luck is preparation looking for an opportunity. So you saying about luck, it is very much around what you've done to prepare, even though necessarily it's not always consciously, because opportunities have come up. Because when you were in the prison service,
I did 23 years in the prison service. I started off as a prison officer at Old Course Prison in Liverpool, a job I thoroughly enjoyed, working with young offenders, and again through my career in the prison service, working across the country in different prisons, being promoted a number of times to Governor grades, Director of Operations and Chief Operating Officer. Actually, again, the ability to make a difference to the most vulnerable people. And I know people have views on what prison should be like, but actually rehabilitation is something I'm really, really passionate about.
Because I think from what I've seen and what I know of you, you're a real people person. You get to know the people. I know people have told me firsthand that when you go into any of the facilities, how many have you got across the region?
18 different homes. And
every single person knows who you are.
Yeah. People, I love people. I love spending time with people. I love listening. I love being able to help them. I love them being able to help me, because there's nothing richer than the information that people are telling you. And I love to just really make a difference, however big or small that is, to people's life's chances. Well,
you can tell that because when you go back to when you talk about the prison service, sometimes it just takes that one person to either to listen to you or to give you the opportunity. And I'm sure that's where your successes have come from. I'm absolutely sure, Joe.
Yeah. I've got, wonderful stories of people, even small things. I remember a lad that was cleaning my windows at home, and he said, "Are you all right, miss?" And I thought, "Oh." So I looked up, I said, "Oh, do I know you from prison?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, "Do you not remember me?" And I said, "No, I don't." I said, "You must have been really well behaved." And he said, "I'll always remember you because you were the only one who'd let me phone my mum on Mother's Day." And that wasn't against the rules. I didn't do things that were against the rules, but he remembered that 5 minutes where I dialed his home number and let him speak to it, and he'd have been 15, 16 years of age. Why not? And there's lots of stories where people have, and I see particularly from the young offender generation, which is a long time ago now, in 1997, but I see those lads in Liverpool now as adults and dads, and they bring their children over to me and go, "Do Joe, this is my, and I can't say on the camera what they say. They used to say to me, there's 2 things she doesn't like: don't lie to her and don't say another word, which I'll leave it to your imagination what that word is.
Oh, wow.
And they used to say that, and then when they used to sit on the canteen, where they used to eat their dinners, and they used to sit on the table, not the seat. And I'm sure we can say this. I used to say they're for rissoles, not arseholes.
Yeah.
And that's what we used to say. And they still remember those today.
But that's the firm but fair, isn't it?
Humour, humility.
Yeah.
I've always treated, and even, people who have committed serious offences, people with respect and dignity.
Mm-hmm. And that probably then, that earns you the respect, because it's not given.
No.
Respect has to be earned. And when people then see that you're willing to be flexible, not, for them not to take the Michael, that's a bit, you get everybody on board then, don't you?
I think the respect you earn means that when we need to go through those tough times or go through that wall, you're not on your own. There's people that have stood beside me in really, really difficult, challenging situations, both in my prison life and in Nugent, where we've done it together. I'm a big believer. You can't do anything on your own, and I know that sounds like a bit of a cliche, but you absolutely can't. And I think I would stand by other people too. So it's not just one way.
Well, that's the thing about being a leader as well, isn't it? It's not necessarily always leading from the front. It's sort of like bringing everybody with you as well. And even the ones that are maybe trailing behind. If you're stomping away at the front, you don't know what's going on behind. So it is very much around that, really good leadership style.
Yeah, and I think, a lot of us, and when you're talking to people across different industries now, our biggest challenge now is really, really good, strong leaders. There's good managers, there's good, they're good teams of colleagues, but actually good, strong leadership with that real courage and determination to support people through our challenges and our roles, is a skill.
Do you think it's a born skill, or do you think you can teach it?
I think you can teach it, because I think that, coming back to something we've just said earlier, I think people who have been around us that gave us belief, that encouraged us to have a go, to, be there when, have a go. If we get it wrong, that's fine. The people, I always say the whiter than white are the people who don't do anything. If we make mistakes and we learn by them and we're supported through that journey, your belief and your strength and resilience just get stronger. So no, I think we are nurtured that way, and I think we continue through our life. Every day for me, I continue to be supported and learn from people that make my leadership different.
So what's next? What are you up to?
So what I'm up to, so I suppose, so part of the Motti journey is I was asked to apply to be chair of Wirral Met, and as I said, I left school at 15, so being asked to be chair of governors for Wirral Metropolitan College, so that's been a really exciting journey there, and supporting the new principal and the team there on their journey. So I've really enjoyed that. I'm chair of Emmaus Merseyside, which is, I'm very fond of Emmaus Merseyside. Obviously it's a homeless charity in Litherland and Seaforth, but again a federation charity, so I've really enjoyed chairing there. I'm on my final stretch there. I don't know how they're going to get me out of there, but I assume they'll find a way, because I'm so passionate about that. With Nugent, we've just started the new journey of Imagine Our World, which is our new strategy, which is joining up our services and our provision to create a lifelong pathway for the people of this city region, and that's with partners and different organisations, because what I have found is how many people in the region want to help others. And we had a really tragic incident where a young person had been in one of our children's homes. She became an adult, actually got good accommodation and a place at college. but socially isolated, and ended up sectioned a number of times and took her life. And at that point, the reflection of why that happened was because our services weren't joined up. We now have a lifelong pathway. We are becoming a registered housing provider. We're working with other registered housing providers to support people through life's humps and bumps. We all have networks of people around us, don't we, that help us with whatever relationships. I need a tenner, whatever that is. Whereas the network we're creating is to support people who haven't got good support networks, care leavers, edge of care support, young adults through life, where we are a constant so that you don't have to start your story from the beginning all the time.
Because that's a huge frustration, isn't it? Because you go right the way back, because you get yourself picked up and you maybe get yourself a bit more settled, and then something happens and you have to go right the way back to square one. It must be so disheartening.
I call it, life's not snakes and ladders. No. And what I think is if you can build up trust with people, things don't need to unravel so much before you can ask help. If I'm just checking in on you and that you can say, no, I've had a bad day, it's much better than in 6 months' time you've hit the bottom, and I want to build up with our team of staff, our volunteers, our network, our partnerships, people that can trust people, to not be judge and jury, to support people, because our lives come across those humps and bumps, don't we? Relationships, challenges, life is a roller coaster, and it's to help people on that roller coaster so that we build up those trusts and resilience and support people.
So how does that look? Is that sort of taking people, because you have various facilities and services, so is that taking them from being in one of your facilities? And I don't want to say out into the big world, I don't mean that, but is that then keeping them in that pathway?
Yeah, so currently, previously you would have turned 18 and then gone into, and had adult services, but not a lot of people need adult services once they're 18. So if you're not needing adult services, how do we bridge the gap to support your journey into going to college, employability, supporting how's your day been, what in for tea, where you're going to,
That's a huge thing when you're 18, isn't it? When you're just a band from what I know, and unfortunately I don't have experience of it myself. But that's a massive thing when you're 18 to not have that. It's,
you've got people who are studying in university who are care leavers that have 31-week accommodation, because that's what a university place is. I'm not saying they're homeless after that, but they all get taken out of their accommodation while everyone goes home for Christmas and the summer. Whereas it's only small, we've just got 4 beds supporting Hope University, that we will have 52-week accommodation for people studying a degree. And then we're supporting Liverpool College with accommodation as well for vulnerable people, young people that are there. Educare is another issue. 80% of local authority funding is spent on children's health and social care. Wow. So 20% of their budget is all they have left to do everything else. If we can do some educare work to support families through, and I use 2 names, Jenny the mum, Billy the son. We currently would look after Billy. Why can't we support Jenny too? And our network and our Pathway Alliance, which is all organisations who are specialists in particular things, we can do personalised support that supports Billy and Jenny, and hopefully prevent the quite often one-way route through the care and criminal justice system.
Because it's that sort of like one size fits all.
Yeah.
And no two people, no people are the same, are they?
No, we all need different package, or support around you at any time, and the ability to be agile and go through life and be able to adjust without saying, actually, this is the package. So with local authorities, I'm working on that actually, and breaking down that we don't want more money. We want to use the money together with the right package, the right support for today, because it might be different in 2 weeks' time. not 2 years' time, 2 weeks' time, but work together to support that person's journey.
Is there more and more younger people coming through? Because obviously some of them, not displaced, that's probably not the right word, but maybe disenfranchised from sort of like, you know, the normal routes and stuff like that. Do you find that's more?
I think from us being young people, I think social media has changed the world we live in. The peer group pressure about what we wear, what we look like, how we fit in, I think that's changed significantly. I think the impact on mental well-being, COVID, the impact of COVID, I think we are realising those effects of those major changes. So I think that we live in a city with lots of deprivation, but lots of love. So if we can help people, because you know you will know, Ellie, Paul and I foster in our private life as well. We know that actually love, care, and a bit of advice, guidance and support will help people stay making good decisions, because people make poor choices because they haven't got another choice. So where people are borrowing £10 off the wrong person, that's £1,000 tomorrow. Well, if you haven't got a tenner, you're not going to have 1,000.
No.
So then you have to get involved in activity that isn't desirable. And, you know, to be able to break that cycle and support people to make better choices so people have choice. And, you know, imagine our world is under 5 themes, which is accommodation, which is predominantly somewhere to stay, and employability, so part of the Pathway Alliance is Liverpool College, Wirral Met, Hope University, employability skills, working with businesses who will do apprenticeships and business opportunities. The poverty in its widest sense, we've got people coming to the food pantry, not taking meat because they can't afford to cook it, taking rags as sanitary ware, you know, and this is happening in our city. So to support people to make better choices, quality of life, which I talk about as well-being, and making memories. Some people haven't had an ice cream on the beach, not been to the cinema, let alone the theatre, never been on a caravan holiday, let alone on a plane. So we can do small things or big things, but we can help people have better memories and a better quality of life.
But it's those vicissitudes of life, isn't it? All the different things that add. And I think when, you know, not a privilege, because when you have them yourself, you don't really realise that is not the norm for other people. So it's nice to sort of like, good that you're there to sort of be trying to be a catch-all, because you can't catch everybody. No,
and I think if you go with that you're going to catch everyone, you're going to be, you know, feel defeated, but you can catch...
Because some people don't want to be called.
No, that's right, and they come back in different ways, and they come back at different times, but 99% of people that have an opportunity to engage and make better choices come good. And I can say that through my prison life as well, you know, because rehabilitation, allowing people to have choice, and, you know, it's one of your pillars, money, you know, having opportunity to earn gives you your own pride and your own choice.
But it gives you that autonomy over the decisions that you want to, whether or not you want to go and have an ice cream on the beach, or whether or not you want to go and do whatever it is you want to do. I mean, like, you know, whatever your guilty pleasure might be, but that's what money gives you. It gives you choice, and it gives you freedom. Yeah,
I always say it enables choice. It allows you to have growth, take risks, and a quality of life.
So what's some of the things that are coming up next?
So coming up next, obviously, we've launched our new plan. We will obviously do a number of series of different podcasts, actually, about that plan. We are registered housing provider applications in, so hopefully we'll get some growth plans and work with developers to be their affordable housing option, but an affordable housing with support. We've got our gala, our annual gala. We've had three now, they're just It's getting more challenging to make them better than the year before. We had an exceptional year last year with a carnival theme, but on the 6th of November, we've only 7 tables left.
Wow,
so, you know, a really big showstopper. It is a party. The dance floor is full from 9:30. It's on the 6th of November at the Titanic. This year's theme is the Masquerade Ball.
Wow.
And for those people who have been before, they'll know that we party till 1 o'clock.
Fabulous night. Because I think I saw you the day after and everybody just looked absolutely wrung out. You look like dishcloths. So that when you were till like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, 3:45 was. I remember going up to bed, and we were staying in the Titanic, and I said to my husband Paul, "Ooh, how'd you beat that?" Because I looked round, I sat and looked round, and everybody was having a good time because it was a carnival atmosphere. People were walking around with inflatable monkeys, and we'd had stalls because it was a carnival. So yeah, just a great night, great party. That much so that we'd sold the majority of the tickets by the end of January.
See, that's fab. But that's that partnership element as well, isn't it? That partnership of, you know, everybody works hard during the year, and it's nice then to be able to bring everybody together to celebrate, you know, your achievements.
Yeah, and I think, you know, it also is for us to say thank you to this region, you know, because from the bottom of my heart, they have been absolutely amazing. And as the wrong red, as a Man United fan, you know, I haven't had any difficulty at all. People have just been amazing.
But you take people with you, Joe. And I know sort of like you've gone on to win other accolades and other awards, both personally, individually, but also then as Nugent as well. But you take people with you because they can see the passion, because you can see it comes out in your eyes, you know, that you want to make a difference, and you are making a difference because you don't stop. You know, we've had conversations and you're still at it. It's sort of like, you know, 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. So one of the things that is like, because it's called the Crispy Ear podcast, is on your journey and what you've achieved and where you've got to now, what would you go back and give yourself a crispy ear about? So crispy ear comes from sort of like, you know, you would absolutely keep on saying it until the whole of your ear was crispy.
It's simple for me, and I suppose if I'd have known years ago what I know now, is always easy, isn't it? But good organisational skills, self-reflection every day. I reflect every day on a bit like rewind on a video tape. That sounds really old, doesn't it?
I'm with you, don't worry.
Reflect on what you've heard, what you've seen, what you've promised. Write your notes and your plan for tomorrow, and grow in terms of what I could do better tomorrow. And I've done that every day for a number of years, and I honestly do believe it's the secret to my success.
And a success you are. I think from where Nugent was, and this is to no detriment to anybody else, but to where it definitely is now in the city, it definitely is. You're the captain of the ship. You really are. And I think you're an inspiration for other businesses, because your leadership style and how you take people with you is a definite skill.
Thank you. And, you know, being a captain of the ship, I'm only as good as my crew. And the people that work for Nugent have, you know, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years service.
Wow.
You know, we give out awards that are I-Accord awards every year that are those numbers.
Wow.
So I'm very, very proud to lead this organisation, and opportunities have come my way because of the success that Nugent and Motti and other awards and platforms have put me on. I'm not interested in anything else. I love Nugent, and I love what we do, and I love that we're doing it right here in this city region.
And we're very lucky to have you, Joe. I'm very lucky that you do make such a huge difference. Thank you so much for coming along today. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
This has been Ellie Kerr, Crispy Ear Podcast. Thank you very much for listening. See you soon. Bye.